Now playing Flight 181. The Lufthansa Boeing 737 aircraft is being prepared for flight. Captain Jürgen Schumann is walking around the plane, making sure it is airworthy for flight. The passengers begin boarding the plane through the front aircraft door, finding their way to their allocated seats, while stowing their personal belongings in the overhead lockers.
Ladies and gentlemen, the rest of the flight crew and I would like to welcome you on board this Lufthansa flight to Frankfurt. Now is the time to make sure you are seated with your seatbelt securely fastened. Thank you.
On the flight deck, surrounded with an array of lit-up switches and dials on a dark grey panel, the two pilots taxiing the plane to the runway for takeoff. The plane rushes down the runway and takes off into the sky, almost immediately reaching the end of land and flying over sea. In the cabin of the aircraft, the mood is happy and light. Passengers are talking, laughing and eating, whilst the cabin crew push the food trolley along the aisle. At the back of the aircraft on the last aisle, a young man of Middle Eastern heritage called Mahmoud and a young woman are looking nervous and bothered, as they continuously look side to side and up and down the cabin. The young woman, who has long wavy hair next to Mahmoud, fires him his black pistol, which they had smuggled on board by hiding it in a portable radio. She takes out her own gun and hand grenade. Then they both deposit their weapons into their pockets and wait for the signal from their other counterparts to give them. In a sudden move, Mahmoud takes off his seatbelt, rises from his seat, pulls the gun out of his back pocket and rushes towards the cockpit, shouting, waving and aiming the pistol at passengers pushing his way through the cabin crew.
This is a hijack! This is a hijack! Nobody move! Nobody move! Hands above your head! This is a hijack! I am in command of this plane! Do not move!
The cabin falls silent, not a murmur. A look of shock replaced the smiles on the faces of the passengers. The hijackers patrol the cabin with their pistols held up high in one hand and a hand grenade in the other. Mahmoud enters the cockpit and tells the co-pilot Jürgen Viator to get out of his seat.
This is a hijack! You, get out! Get out now!
Alright!
Jürgen undoes the seat harness and rises from his seat. He is then pushed out of the cockpit in front of the galley of the cabin.
Right, what do you want?
Fly the plane east and give me the microphone. I am captain now.
Captain Schumann hands the in-flight intercom to Mahmoud. Mahmoud snatches it out of his hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, the plane has been hijacked by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. I am your new captain, Mahmoud. You must remain silent and remain in your seats. Anyone who disobeys us will be shot. We will be landing shortly.
The plane touches down in Dubai International Airport and pulls off the runway onto the apron. The passenger cabin is mostly silent.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Mahmoud. We are stopping over in Dubai for refueling. Afterwards, we will be leaving.
The aircraft refuels, taxis into the runway and proceeds towards the end of it, then takes off into the sky. It is late in the evening, whilst the plane is in flight. The cabin is dark with minimal light. Passengers remain silent, some of them trying not to sleep. Two of the terrorists are asleep, two of them standing on guard.
It is dawn. The plane is approaching Mogadishu International Airport for another stopover. Inside the cockpit, the captain is communicating with Mogadishu Airport to establish permission to land at the airport. The ground denies him permission to land and blocks the runway with fire engines and other airport ground vehicles.
Lufthansa 181 requesting landing clearance for Mogadishu International Airport, over.
Mogadishu Tower to Lufthansa 181. You have no landing clearance for Mogadishu Airport.
Mogadishu Tower, please give us permission to land. We are low on fuel. I repeat, we are low on fuel, over.
Mogadishu Tower to Lufthansa 181. I repeat, you have no landing clearance for Mogadishu Airport. The Somalis refused to let the aircraft land at their airport.
but due to extremely low fuel levels, the pilots prepare for a crash landing onto the grass by the airstrip.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing to make a crash landing. Please adopt the brace position. Please adopt the brace position as demonstrated by the cabin crew and on the card in the seat pocket in front of you. Thank you.
The aircraft slowly descends towards the grass plain beside the unlit and barricaded runway. The wheels clunk down hard onto the grass, with dirt, grass shavings and small debris being sucked into the two jet engines, causing them to set on fire. The aircraft comes to a halt. The flames engulfing the engine are extinguished. The aircraft's skin is visibly damaged with dents and scratch marks. The undercarriage tyres slashed and shredded, with smoke billowing from the aircraft. Inside the cabin, passengers are coughing in the dust, but cheering and clapping and celebrating to be alive. In the cockpit, the pilots are also out of breath, happy that they landed the aircraft in one piece and have survived.
You alright?
Yes, you?
Oh, okay.
The two pilots briefly embrace. Hannah Pigler and the head stewardess enters the cockpit.
Are you okay?
Yes, very well. You?
Yes, thank you.
Are there any casualties?
Everyone is alive and unhurt.
Hannah Pigler embraces the two pilots. Suddenly, Mahmoud gets up from his seat, takes out his pistol from his pocket and fires it into the overhead locker. The cabin suddenly falls silent after the gunshot. Mahmoud becomes aggressive. Shut up! Shut up! This is not over! Our comrades are still in jail! And if your government does not release them in 3 hours, we will blow up the plane! Okay? So sit down and shut the fuck up! The cabin falls silent. Mahmoud paces towards the cockpit. When he enters, he grabs the microphone that connects the ATC tower to get the message to the authorities. To the German fascists in the tower, where are our comrades? Captain Mahmoud, your comrades have been released and are on their way to Somalia as we speak. But please understand, sir, these things take time. It is a long distance between Germany and Somalia, and it had also taken time to secure their release. How long do they arrive here? The flight departed from Berlin 6 hours ago, and it is a 12-hour flight from Berlin to Mogadishu, so the plane carrying your comrades will arrive here in approximately 6 hours. Okay, you have 6 hours, but if I do not see our comrades by that time, I will blow up the plane!
Captain Mahmoud, is it alright if I go out to check the condition of the aircraft, just to see if the aircraft is safe?
Okay, but come straight back here afterwards.
Yes, of course.
Jürgen Schumann gets out of his seat, walks towards the exit, and climbs out of the aircraft. Mahmoud watches Jürgen Schumann walking away from the aircraft towards the airport terminal building, and then disappears out of sight from Mahmoud, which antagonizes him. Your captain has betrayed you! He has left the plane, leaving you all and putting all your lives at risk! Not only has he betrayed you, he has betrayed me! A few minutes later, Mahmoud spots Schumann walking towards the aircraft from the cockpit window. He's coming back! The traitor is coming back! Jürgen Schumann climbs up the ladder back into the aircraft, walks through the open door and into the cabin. Mahmoud walks over to him and hits him over the head with the end of the pistol. On your knees!
Wait, Captain Mahmoud, just listen to me!
Shut up! This is a revolutionary trial. I accuse you of treason against your passengers and against me. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, please, Captain, listen to me, there is a problem!
Mahmoud shoots Jürgen Schumann in the head in front of the horrified passengers. Schumann lies lifeless on the floor, killed instantly. Mahmoud walks away and in a seat at the front of the passenger cabin. Yuzu, get up and take the body towards the exit, now! 2 passengers are ordered to remove Schumann's body from the centre of the aisle towards the exit of the aircraft. One of the men is grabbed by his feet and the other his arms. Mahmoud opens the aircraft door and throws Schumann's body out of the aircraft onto the tarmac and closes the aircraft door. Mahmoud enters the passenger cabin to make an announcement. 3 hours to go and you will be free. Until then, stay seated, shut up and do not do anything stupid or you'll end up like your former captain. Mahmoud walks off, enters the cockpit and takes a seat. Meanwhile, outside, the aircraft is being approached by heavily armed elite German and British commandos, led by Commander Leader Ulrich Wagner. They quietly power walk towards the rear of the aircraft. Before they reach the rear fuselage of the aircraft, they stop. Stop! Wagner, flanked by 10 commandos, stop in unison. Wagner then radios his colleagues to explode some dynamite a few meters from the plane in order to draw the terrorist attention to the cockpit and away from the middle to rear of the aircraft.
3, 2, 1, now!
The explosion disrupts silence. Mahmoud is jolted by the sudden explosion. What is going on? The other terrorists rush towards the cockpit to ask Mahmoud what's going on. What's going on, Mahmoud? What's going on? What is it? Suddenly, both of the overwing emergency exits, left and right, are kicked in from the outside. A second afterwards, commandos dressed in all black and bulletproof body armour and armed with semi-automatic firearms enter the aircraft. The main aircraft door is also suddenly forced open, with a unit of 4 commandos climbing into the aircraft.
Everyone, get down! I repeat, get down!
Get down! Get down! Get down! Terrorist 3 is immediately shot dead as he enters the passenger cabin from the galley of the aircraft.
Asylum 1, down!
Mahmoud rushes to the cockpit and exchanges fire with the commandos. Wagner shoots Mahmoud twice in the head, who collapses to the floor.
Asylum 2, down!
A fire exchange takes place between the commandos and 2 remaining terrorists, as the terrorists take cover behind the bulkhead.
Asylum 3, down!
One of the terrorists, female terrorist, is gunned down by one of the commandos. The 4th assailant, a young woman who originally sat next to Mahmoud, is the only one left standing. She pulls the pin out of her hand grenade, tosses it towards the seats and runs into the front toilet, fires 2 more shots, then locks the door behind her. One of the commandos has been struck by one of the shots, but he carries on.
Thank you for listening.